What's going on, my fellow rock and rollers? Now, Courtney Love has been one of the most vilified figures in rock music. Some blame her for the demise of her husband and Nirvana frontman Kurt Cobain, and some even blame her for being involved in his death. Now, she's feuded with Cobain's ex-bandmates over the years and other musicians, pretty much to the point that they've written songs about her. But I want to focus on songs that Dave Grohl, formerly of Nirvana and currently of the Foo Fighters, most likely wrote about her. Now, if you guys have ever read the terrific book, Everybody Loves Our Town, The Oral History of Grunge, then you know it features interviews with all the important people who made up the Seattle scene in both the 80s and the 90s, and two things become abundantly clear. Number one, Courtney Love was an opportunist who saw something in Kurt Cobain before he was famous and latched onto him and wouldn't let go. And number two, her recollection of events seemed to differ widely from everybody else's. Now, getting back to the songs, Dave Grohl has usually been pretty vague about the songs he's written and what they mean, telling Enemy in 2018, "I've been asked that question about every song I've written. I think the most important thing about writing songs is to refuse the specifics, because that takes away the opportunity for some listener to relate to the song," he'd say. Now, back in 2011, Foo Fighters put out one of my favorite rock documentaries, which was Back and Forth, which chronicled the band's history and was released to promote their terrific album at the time, Wasting Light. And one of the most telling moments of the documentary happens at the beginning of the movie when Dave Grohl, without naming names, claimed that some people were upset when he decided to start a band and play rock music following the demise of Nirvana. I've always taken this comment to be a reference to Kurt Cobain's ex-wife Courtney Love, which leads me to the first song I think Dave wrote about Courtney, which is I'll Stick Around from the group's 1995 debut record. I'll Stick Around was one of the first songs Grohl wrote following the death of Cobain, and the song was the first music video done by the band as well. The original concept for the video saw the band performing the song with a bloated, charred, and inflated girl, which was going to represent Courtney Love, but Grohl's management vetoed the idea, instead replacing it by a 3D HIV virus that was based on the models that was typically shown in Scientific American magazine. Grohl would give an interview to Rolling Stone magazine in 1995 and revealed that initially a lot of people thought the song was about Cobain, with the lyrics, "I don't owe you anything," and Grohl would respond to this claim telling the magazine, "The only reason I wanted to do an interview was because as I was singing I don't owe you anything, I realized that people might think it was about Kurt, and it would break my heart to think that people are under that impression. That was my biggest fear, and besides that, anything else is trivial and stupid." And I knew that while I was recording it, that it was probably the strongest song I've ever written, because it was one song that I actually meant and felt emotionally, he'd say. Now, I think by far the most telling lyric from the song is, "How could it be I'm the only one who sees your rehearsed insanity?" And Grohl would address this in the same interview, saying, "It's just a very negative song about feeling you were violated or deprived." And in the same interview, he declined to address whether it was specifically about Courtney Love, but the interviewer would follow up asking the musician, "So there's no one else in mind?" And Grohl would smirk, "Maybe," he'd say. Now, it would be ironic that in 2002, Dave Grohl and his former Nirvana bandmate, bassist Chris Novoselic, would be involved in a lawsuit with Love over an unreleased Nirvana track at the time called You Know You're Right, and the pair filed a legal motion asking Love to undergo a psychiatric evaluation, according to Rolling Stone magazine. Now, Grohl would never publicly claim the song was about Love, but as recently as 2009, he would tell biographer Paul Brannigan, "I've denied it for 15 years, but I'm finally coming out and saying it. Just read the effing words." Now, 4 years later, Foo Fighters would release their third album, There's Nothing Left to Lose, and one of the singles and best songs off the album, in my opinion, was Stacked Actors. Now, Grohl never came out and claimed it was written specifically about Love. Instead, Love is the one who appeared on Howard Stern's radio show to claim the song was written about her. Here's the clip of her on the Stern show.
Go ahead. Oh, good. Oh, now it's getting good.
How many times has Dave Grohl been up here, Howard?
Two times. 2 or 3.
And every time he slags me, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Did he slag her the last time?
Every time. And also, here's a guy.
Dave Grohl of Foo Fighters you're talking about.
Now, if you were in a band with me for 5 years or 4 years, if Sam was in and I died and my boyfriend started a band or was in a band, you'd know, like, every riff.
Right.
Every riff. You'd
Yes.
know the way that I sang.
F.
You know perfectly well, like, who wrote what, right? So Dave is on this, like, mission.
To say that Kurt wrote all your songs.
No, he doesn't do that. He implies it, and which is just even lame enough. But the thing is that he's got yet another song about what a bitch I am.
Mm-hmm.
I've never written a song about him, so I'm going to sing you one right now.
Okay.
When the drummer tries to sing, everybody better hide. When the drummer tries to sing, God, let's all go inside. Oh, yeah, all of you that love all things Foo. Dave, I have to tell you, Kurt hated you.
Really?
Hated his guts.
Kurt hated Dave.
5 years I've been quiet about this.
Really?
Hated his guts.
You're telling me that Kurt Cobain
Hated his guts.
hated Dave Grohl?
Not the first year.
No, he liked him at first because he
Loved
wouldn't have put
it.
him in the band.
Because
If
he
he
was funny.
Right.
He was sweet, funny, lovely, and then he turned into such a dick. So
How so? What was?
well,
what was
we had our drug problems, and that was
Okay.
hard to be around.
Right.
Admittedly so.
Right.
But the thing is I mean, this whirlwind of success was happening for Dave, and he really turned his back on Kurt. Forget about me. I didn't have
Right.
a relationship with him except for the 1 week he chased me around L.A. because he thought I was hot.
Right. He wanted to have sex with you.
I think he just was really intrigued by me. Like,
Do you think he would have had sex with you if you had said yes and he would have done it behind Kurt's back?
No, I wasn't going out with Kurt yet.
Oh, you weren't?
No, I was still
Oh.
going out with Billy.
Billy Corgan.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know I went out with Billy?
And he would say, I can't stand Dave anymore.
Dave just turned on him and betrayed him and walked away from him.
But how does he betray him?
Betrayed him by, Dave was always a really popular guy in school. He wasn't like
Really?
us, like outsider,
Right.
natural sort
Loser.
of misanthropic loser outsider
Right,
people. So it was sort of the beginning of jock rock. And, everyone was saying, we were going to die of drugs. And we would laugh and go, no, Dave's going to die from, bungee jumping or something.
Really?
Extreme sports.
Right.
But, he was like that popular guy. And
But you're still not telling me how Dave was mean to...
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, this band explodes. This is many years ago, but they exploded.
Nirvana.
Huge,
Yeah,
massive.
right.
Nirvana. And he's reaping the whirlwind of success. His
Right.
singer has a drug problem, which we're all trying to deal with. And,
Right.
I have one too, but it's not
As bad, yeah.
And he wouldn't talk to him. He wouldn't take his phone calls. He wouldn't, just deal with him. He wasn't his friend anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're not
Yeah.
buying the public grieving now?
What?
You're not buying the public reading?
Well, I've shut up about it for 5 years, and I thought it was pretty classy, Jackie O type of thing to
Now, Grohl has his own explanation for what exactly the song is about, telling an interviewer, "Stacked Actors is a response to living in Hollywood for about a year and a half, and my disdain and disgust of everything plastic and phony, which is the foundation of that city, and I just hated it. I had a lot of fun, but I also had a lot of fun hating it," he'd say. Now, turning now to the group's 2007 album, Echo, Silence, Patience, and Grace, which contained the song Let It Die, which was also released as a single, the song would contain the lyrics, "A simple man and his blushing bride, intravenous intertwined." Now, Grohl was one of the few people who attended Cobain and Courtney Love's wedding in the early 90s, and he'd say the following about the song to Enemy. "It's a song that was written about feeling helpless to someone else's demise. I've seen people lose it all to drugs and heartbreak and death. It's happened to me more than once in my life, but the one that's most noted is Kurt. And there's a lot of people that I've been angry with in my life, but the one that's most noted is Courtney. So it's pretty obvious to me that those correlations are going to pop up every now and again." And he'd go on to say, "I still remain a little bit secretive about it all." So let me know, guys, are there any other songs you think Dave Grohl wrote about Courtney Love in mind? Let me know in the comment section below, and if you guys have suggestions for future topics, also leave them down below as well. And if you guys like my content, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe, and if you want to support my channel, simply watch another video, or go check us out on Patreon starting as low as $2 a month. Take care.